Hey, 8th grade, welcome to May. We finally made it. So, hopefully you're still alive. I mean, look at my little mushroom bun going on here and everything. That used to be fashionable when I was a teenager in high school, which was, we're not even going to say how long ago. All right, we are moving forward into the digestive and excretory system for our human body. Remember, we are noting it, which means that we are going to quickly run through and just pick up the highlights of everything. Hopefully you picked up muscular and skeletal system. And so let's get going. Get your notes. Here we go. Digestive system. Okay, now these two are, let's put it blankly this way. Digestive system is how you get the poop out of your body, and then excretory system is how you get the pee out of your body. So that's why they go together. Like I said before, I'm trying to match up pairs to make it a lot easier. Digestive system. Okay, so this is where you take in food. Okay, so it involves everything up here. It involves the whole process, going through the whole shebang. Take some food, then it breaks it down. Got a little country accent going on. Breaks it down and absorbs nutrients into your body. Can I just put NUT for nutrients? Yeah, it's spelled nut, but you guys can get it. Nutrients is a vocab word this week, so pay attention because it's very important for your body. Okay, digestive system. It's where you take in food, chewing it, break it down, so your teeth are very important, and it kind of like breaks down as you go with your salivary glands and all kinds of stuff, and we'll get to it. And then it absorbs the nutrients, into your body, okay? So, by pulling out that good stuff, so the more healthy things you eat, the better healthy things, your body's going to break down that food, and it's going to pull out the vitamins and all the good calcium and everything. So if you're eating sugar, like I've been doing a lot lately, you're not going to be feeding your body quite good stuff, and it's not going to be pulling a lot of nutrients. So that's how you get tired and everything. Anyway, moving on. Digestive system. There are two different types of digestion, okay? So what's great about, whoever came up with all these terms was very smart because it makes sense. Okay, so there's two types of digestion, just like we did last week. Make a 1 and a 2, all right? The first one is mechanical. I used that word last week with mechanical energy. Mechanical. And the other one is chemical digestion. You might be able to figure out, before I even describe these ones, what they mean. So mechanical is when you, the person, you are a person, I hope, when you physically break down food. So there's something, like some part of your body, or organs, that actually breaks it down. So you have to do some kind of movement in order to break down that food and help it out. I.e. chew food. Okay, so mechanical is when you physically, we're going to underline this a couple hundred times, break down the food. So your teeth and mouth are the best thing ever when it comes to mechanical. When it comes to chemical, though, we're thinking like mixing in the lab kind of thing. Like, don't mix the chemicals because you could make an explosion happen. Well, also when you mix chemicals, you can start, if you knock it over, you got to be lab safety here, you could put a hole in my table. I don't have anything that dangerous in the lab, but you just never know. Okay, so chemical is when the body breaks, excuse me, I'm burping here, breaks down food using chemical reactions. So when we have chemical reactions, I'm going to put CHEM for chemical. I'm going to put IE, enzymes. That's another vocabulary word. That's what they're known as. Different kinds. Enzymes are just like, I lost my train of thought. Enzymes are basically, like, they're chemical breakers is probably the best way to put it. So when an enzyme interacts with the food in some way, it's going to attach itself to the food and it's going to chemically start breaking it down because it can release those special chemical reactions. So a chemical reaction, ladies and gentlemen, let me back it up a little bit. Well, a chemical reaction is when, oh my goodness, I'm blanking here. Chemical reaction is when, not physically, but it has to do with like a saliva or the glands, enzymes, some kind of like activation has to happen in order for it to be broken down. Now, for your challenge, for your experiment this week, it's actually a fun one I did with 7th grade. You get a plastic bag, put a piece of bread in it, and it has to be bread, okay? And then you add vinegar and milk to it, and it's going to smell bad afterwards. But what you do is you mix it all together, and you start squishing it, okay? Because the food has come down, and when you're doing this, it's like you're mechanically breaking down the bread, but the milk and the vinegar together creates a chemical reaction that kind of stinks, but it starts eating away at the broken apart, the physically broken apart bread. So when the result you get is very disgusting, but that's what you see in your stomach. That's how your stomach acts, because that's where the chemical reactions take place. So do that experiment and you will actually get a real example of like, oh, that's what chemical reaction is, and whatnot. So once again, digestive systems, we're breaking down the food and we are pushing it out and absorbing nutrients. There's 2 kinds that help us get those, the food and the nutrients into our system and broken down and separated. Okay, moving on. What makes up the digestive system? Okay, we're not going to draw a picture because I'm not that talented and I'm not going to waste your time here. Okay, so the list. So make this list. First is the mouth. Next is your salivary glands. So they're not bad down here. They're kind of in the back of your mouth. And the salivary glands helps create the saliva that will help push the food on down. But also what's great about it is that it causes all that liquid. The spit is probably the best way, saliva, to it produces the saliva, which helps you mechanically break down the food and to push it down your body. So swallowing is a very good thing. Esophagus. That's where it all goes down so far. All right, so it goes in this order. And then it leads into the stomach where there is the chemical chyme. Chyme is, well, like I said, it's a chemical that helps, it's like an enzyme. It helps break down the food so that we can pull the nutrients out. So mechanical and then chemical starting to happen a little bit up here and then really starts down there. Then it goes into the small intestines, okay? So all the leftover stuff, the waste is probably the best way to put it. So those nutrients are absorbed, and then whatever is left over goes, or it might end up as fat if you put too much in there. And into the large intestines. I actually have an enrichment activity up for you guys too. That said is how long is my small intestines? You'd be really surprised. I mean, if you look at that picture, it's all bundled up. But when you pull that thing out and you do that experiment or that enrichment activity, you're really going to see that you got something amazing inside your body. It's like crazy what God came up with. And then the last one is your butthole. I'm not going to put that. Okay, so after the large intestines, it has all of the waste. So then that's when you poop it out. It's through, not the large intestines, that's not what it is, but it's through the butt. It's basically the best way to put it. So I'm trying not to laugh because Jonah's probably going to hear me say that word and then he's going to come in and go, ha ha ha, mommy. So here's the list in the order that it goes in. If you have any questions about this, you're like, I don't understand that, please email me and we will clear that up. So and the digestive system, I said earlier, so add this back to it. Expels waste. Okay, so you have to keep these separated. All right, digestive system is what does the waste. It does the poop. This is such a fun activity or fun topic to talk about. So that's the digestive system, lo and behold. Not too hard, pretty easy. when it comes to the other part, P, we call it the excretory system. So this is how we flush out, and this is very important for if you have like a kidney disease or something, or you have to go get blood transfusions or dialysis. You're basically doing dialysis because your kidneys can't function, helping you clean out the waste from your blood system. So if you can't do the blood, if you can't clean it out on your own, then you have to be set up to a machine a couple times a week for a few hours a day, because you're basically pumping your blood out, cleaning it, and then pumping it back in, and it can be an exhausting process. I don't know from personal experience, but from some of my friends' parents who have gone through it while they waited for a kidney transplant, it can be pretty exhausting. So, excretory system. Sounds like something in Star Wars or whatever. Excretory system. Okay, this is the one that removes waste from bodies. So they both remove waste. There's always, we're always getting rid of waste in some way or another. To maintain this word, maintain homeostasis. Remember, homeostasis is trying to keep our body in check. Okay, so the excretory system is doing a little bit more work on the waste management, than the digestive system. Digestive is just pushing out the food and pulling out nutrients for you. Excretory system is the one that really functions for us to really go and find that crud that's in our bodies and to remove it. So, in order to maintain homeostasis. I don't know, do you hear my robot right now? The vacuum robot is like trying to get into the door. Okay, so it's very important that you keep those two. They're very similar, but they're very different in how they function in our body. Now, the excretory system is also known as the urinary system. So, I said it before, it's P. So, urinary system. And why we refer to it like that is because it filters. That's the best way to do it. So your kidneys are filtering through all of this. It filters, I'm going to underline filters, your blood, and gets rid of excess water. So it gets rid of three things. Excess water, H2O, salt, if you've taken it, and minerals. So we keep the nutrients in our bodies, but the minerals are like, not happening kind of thing. So this is what I've been having a problem with, that my levels are really off. So my kidneys haven't been functioning since baby's made her way in there and everything. But, so you have to do extra stuff, like eat healthier and, drink lots and lots of water, which will help. The more water you drink, the better your urinary system will work. But, there's tons of benefits for it. So, moving on from that, what makes up the urinary system? There's actually a little less, than the digestive system. So, the list for this one, it goes in this order. And like I keep saying, it starts with the kidneys, which this is where you're going to find your nephrons, which are like an enzyme, kind of that body part that helps break everything down, clean it out, and then it goes into your ureter. Okay, these are the long, so you have kidneys, and then these are the long tubes that connect the kidneys down to the next part, which is the bladder. And we all know what a bladder is. Okay, your bladder can literally start small, like this, but they can get big. So it's very flexible. It comes and goes. So, but it's where it stores all of that excess stuff that the body's trying to get rid of. And the urethra is what how you push out it's attached to the bladder, and it's that little tube that releases all the excess stuff when you go to the bathroom. So, 4 parts to the excretory system, also known as the urinary system, and how it functions. So, digestive and urinary are actually very close and similar. And that's it. That's like it all in a nutshell, basically. So that's why we put it together. So what do you have to do this week for me? Well, first off, I'm gonna itch my back because it's kind of like all this and everything. First, take your notes. It's very important that you do that because it might pop up with a quiz in a week or two, and you're gonna want to know this stuff. So 1, take your notes. 2, you do have vocabulary this week, so I've gone over a ton of those words, Cliff Note version, very fast. So have fun with that. 3, what is your homework this week? Okay, so last week you had like 2 or 3 parts almost on one paper. I'm continuing that. So we're going to continue with one assignment, but we're doing parts to it. So this one is that you're going to look for the 5 steps of digestion flip book. Okay, there's actually 2. Okay, there's 2 assignments that go together. Okay, so this is actually like a packet that you will have 5 steps. There's little cards that you cut out, and when you staple them together, you can flip them to actually show the steps. So, and I just erased it, this list. So you would actually, it labels out some of the parts of the digestive system, and you're going to actually draw me a picture and label what it does. So you explain what it does. How does it work in the digestive system? So I talked about mouth. Well, what does the mouth do? It mechanically digests the food and helps break it down into smaller pieces. I mean, right there. And then you draw a mouth. Ooh. So that's the first part of your assignment. And then you're going to go in and find the urinary tract notes. Okay, so it's the urinary system notes, the excretory. And what you're doing is, this is just a simple diagram. They're going to label out the parts with this right here. Okay. And then you're going to label what does each part do. So both assignments are basically review about what I just taught you, but you're going to have to dig a little bit into notes and the internet to really get those locked in. Yeah, so notes, try the experiment, see how the bread breaking down does. Do the 2 parts to the homework with all your notes. Contact me if you're stuck, and try the enrichment activities. Oh, vocab, totally forgot. So you got 5 things. So the enrichment activities, guys, that helps you do your homework too. What else do I have to say? We're breaking it down. So I don't know. We might be back to school next week. We never know, or whatever. Look at my little bun. I look like an old lady. It's late at night, so I'm recording this, and I miss you guys. 8th grade, have a wonderful week. Make it a great one. May be many blessings onto you guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.